What's up, soccer friends? Welcome to the Kickback Committee. We are glad you're here. I'm your host, Susannah Fuller. Today, I am joined by my esteemed fellow committee member and very good friend, the one and only David Goss. What's up, Goss? We're holding it down today.
Yeah, I feel good about that. I feel like we've had so many friends on the show that we've learned a lot of different styles. It's basically a pickup game for us.
It is a pickup game for us. You know, sometimes there's an issue with having too many friends. You know, it's tough to be this popular. Everybody wants to be
Everyone
around
wants
us.
a piece.
Exactly. And now you and I can just, we have the floor. We get to say all the things we want to say.
Let me ask this simple question now based off that. Have you watched The Summer I Turned Pretty?
Oh, of course I have. Come on now.
Now I feel like Belly, who's like, oh, woe is me. I went from no options to some options, and now I'm so upset.
Both brothers are hot.
I will say this, though. I'm only midway through season 2.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
I feel like that.
Because season 3 is a roller coaster that I did not anticipate going on. It's something else, man.
I can't see the logical connection yet of, like, how do they extend this? Like, I get the characters you can, but like the relation to the mom and all that stuff, it feels like, how do you extend the story? And then, but I know the viral sensation that is like choosing between the brothers and everyone going around.
I mean,
I have my choice already. That might change, but I feel pretty confirmed.
Okay. It is a love triangle of epic proportions. And when it's two brothers, it's just, it's just so tasty. Yeah. So tasty.
Our soccer friends are like Conrad and Jeremiah, and we're just choosing between.
I'm team. Do we want to say who our teams are?
I'm Team Jelly. Everyone knows that.
You're Team Jelly?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh man, I'm Team Conrad.
But I don't know why I wouldn't be yet.
Okay, well.
Are you Team Conrad?
I'm Team Conrad.
Because of the hair?
He's kind of dreamy. I mean, they're both dreamy. Let's be honest. Yeah. Let's be honest. Belly has she can't lose really. Yeah. So. Guys, go watch it. It's really it's great.
Her friend calls her. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. It's so good. It's so good, man. We're already on one. I love it. We actually do have a very fun show today, and we are going to talk about soccer things a little bit. We kind of avoid that on the committee, but that's our whole vibe. We continue our 50 States of Soccer adventure this week. The great state of Idaho, Goss. Not just about potatoes. No. There's a soccer vibe in Idaho, and we're going to hit on that. We've got an emergency Touchline Tailor reaction. You might have seen the reaction video yesterday to the Köln manager wearing the kit on the sidelines in his first match in charge. David's going to weigh in on that. I've shared my piece. Thank you very much. We share our favorite stories in soccer right now, anything from around the globe, and this is going to be fun. We're putting together a bad soccer bet parlay, which is going to be really fun because here's the thing. Every soccer bet is bad. I don't know if people are aware of this, but it is literally impossible to place a good soccer bet. You think you are the smartest person. You have all the rationale in the world for making these picks, and then it just goes completely sideways. Yeah. That's just the nature of it. So we're putting together a group parlay, and that's going to be really fun. And we'll see. It'll give us good storylines to follow as we head into the weekend, and we can cheer for our bets to hit. Goss, you ready for this?
Yeah, I like having rooting interests across things.
I do too.
It's the only thing that's ever convinced me to bet on sports. I don't bet very heavily on sports, but now we're all rooting together. It's like we're fans of all these teams. Exactly. Which is why, by the way, I am my bracket always loses because I pick all underdogs. Because I'm like, well, this is what I would like to happen, and it turns out that that's not the way the world works.
We love underdogs though. It's fun. It's way more fun and more compelling. So, yeah. and if you win, if you end up like hitting, you look like a genius.
It's the best.
Yeah. It's a great feeling.
It's the best, and it never happens.
Great feeling. Okay, before we dive into today's episode, I want to discuss something with you. I want to get your take on something because I feel like you will have some good insight into this. So, yesterday, which was Monday, Newcastle were playing Liverpool. Okay, I am a Liverpool fan, have been for many, many years. Ian,
I did not know that. Curveball.
Yeah, curveball. Shocker. Ian, my husband, is a diehard Newcastle.
Oh, really?
Supporter. Yeah. So my thing is that like I've never hated Newcastle. Like I've always kind of had an affection for them. It's the north of England. Liverpool's in the north of England. I have a very good friend from Newcastle. I've been to Newcastle. Great city. Great Indian food, by the way. If you've ever been. Great Indian food. So I've always had this kind of soft spot for Newcastle. Meanwhile, Ian absolutely, like, he hates Liverpool.
Yeah, fair.
Like, hates it. And he maybe has softened a little bit on it because of me, but, like, not really.
Yeah.
So yesterday's match was wild, right? And there's all the context surrounding it with the Isak drama and everything. And it was this Liverpool coughed up a 2-0 lead, like they did in the first game. Newcastle come back, down a man, and then the young kid, Nwanga, scores the game winner in stoppage time. It was just nuts. It was like an absolutely chaotic game. As I'm watching this unfold, like Liverpool are up 2-0, and I'm just, kind of like quietly confident. And Ian's being really nice about it. Like he's like, and then the minute they start to get back in it, I turn into like the devil, basically. Like I start like trash talking Newcastle fans. I'm like, they're dirty, they're filthy. What this is, like everything. And he's so much classier than I am in this situation. And then at the end, the kid scores the winner, and I like jump up. And meanwhile, when they had equal, like Ian was so like just very subdued in his celebration, and I realized that like I'm the asshole. Yeah. Like I'm the jerk in this situation. So what is the best way to handle this when there are two different interests in the relationship? Is it best to just watch it separately? Like
I was literally about to say, my advice is bad advice, which is decouple.
for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
We don't talk. It was.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. And you both feel as fully committed to your teams as each other, right?
My relationship with Liverpool is way longer than my relationship with Ian.
But I mean, his relationship to Newcastle is equally as strong as your relationship to Liverpool.
I think so. He's struggled recently with like the Saudi ownership and all of that. I think it's kind of soured him a bit. But yeah, like he has been supporting them for years and years and years and years. Has all the kits, like all the things, like. It was. I just realized that like this doesn't bring out the best in me as a wife.
Acknowledgement is the first.
It is the first step. But I'm curious to get people's takes on this. Like if it's better to just literally separate and then you come together. But like even then, like I'll feel the need to gloat.
I think the gloating. So my thing, I'm a very respectful fan. I think this comes from being a fan of losers. Where like I very much value and respect people's experience. Like I text people all the time and I'm like, hey, tough loss, like, but you should be proud of the way they played. Like I'm very much like, and then I have friends who they just want to talk all the time, which is like endearing. And so they're like, oh, whoa, how'd that happen? I'm like, how'd that happen? My team has not won in 34 years. It is game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Now you're texting me just like casual questions. So I'm not the best person as a fan. And like, we have gone out to watch games with people who like don't care. And I'm like, I don't think I should be invited to this. Like, I don't think I'm proud of what's about to happen. And this is not like a fun event for me for like my hardcore teams. So I think it's acceptable to be that way. Okay. But I think it's very mature to acknowledge it in advance. And I think it's acceptable to not watch at the same time for the most part.
Yeah. Like it was a real moment of like self-awareness. Like, wow. Like this is. Well,
it's also funny because in this scenario, you are the like overlord. Like you're the more.
Do you know what's so funny too? Liverpool is literally the only club I support right now, or team I support that is good.
Yeah.
That wins.
Except for
like
one Knoxville, of course.
One Knox,
which I think Ian would root for as well, right?
Exactly. I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so. If I wasn't cheering for one Knox, and if he wasn't cheering for one Knox, then there'd be serious problems.
And the intensity of that passion has not waned in any way as they've been heavily successful?
No, it's like, because the thing is that I'm so not used to supporting a winning team.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I can think back on is like the Bulls era when I was a kid, right? And like, but even then, like I was young and I knew that like, oh, this is special. Like you need to enjoy this because this doesn't happen. I've been a Chicago Cubs fan my whole life. Like, come on now, like outside of the glory of 2016, it has been pure misery. So I am certainly equipped to deal with losing teams. So Liverpool, people think Liverpool have been so good for so long. They actually haven't. Like it was like there was
flash
like
in the pan, won
like there was a good stretch of like 10 seasons where they were kind of like struggling to crack the top four. Like Champions League was never a given. They were just kind of like okay. And so it's not like they've been this powerhouse. It's only the last few seasons. So I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. It feels good. It feels good to have a team.
Yes. I would like to hear everyone else's feedback on this one. I'm somewhat fortunate in that we don't really have competing things that often. Like all the teams we root for play in totally different spheres or are never going to be competitive. AKA, like, I don't even know if she knows the Washington Wizards exist, but like if they were somehow to be good in 35 years, that would be the first time it came up. And I think our passion levels for different things are different. So it's never like our number one would be versus their number one.
Interesting.
So it doesn't come up very often for me.
Did Meg take on some of your fandom when you guys got together?
She's like happy to, again, because they're not conflicting. I root for her team. She roots for my teams. And like we're happy to do it. She also lived in New York. So it's like.
That helps.
Not hard to be like, oh, I hope the Knicks win because like I'm here. And I'm not a Giants fan. So we're not the rivals.
Right.
I'm not a Yankees fan. We're not the rivals. So it was an easier one, I think, in general. And, like, I root for their teams for the most part. It helped when their football team changed the name. Because I was not rooting for them before.
No.
But then it became much easier after. Yeah.
It was funny. With Ian and I, we both kind of agreed that, like, we wouldn't touch each other's soccer teams.
Yeah,
that was, like, that was always going to be our own separate things. But like he didn't really have an NFL team. He grew up in Washington State. And so like Seattle was like kind of there, but he wasn't really like a Seattle fan. So he didn't really have a football team, a baseball team. So he was happy
adopted yours,
to come on board, which was fine. But I said, I will never, ever, ever touch your Newcastle fandom. Like that is yours. We keep it separate, but it does when they face each other.
It is funny because it
was a conundrum.
Not super relevant up until like a year and a half. Like the two teams have not been good at the same time in 30 years until the last year and a half. And they probably will be now going forward.
I would think so. But it was funny because in the Carabao Cup final this past spring, Liverpool won it the year before. And then it was Newcastle-Liverpool. And Newcastle won 2-1. And honestly, like they were better if they wanted it more. Like I was surprisingly like okay with that result. That was also the day of One Knox's first match. So like we were both kind of like in different mindsets that day. We were in Spokane, Washington for that one. So we were more like focused on that. But I was okay in that situation. But yesterday I was kind of a disaster. So just full disclosure. That's me. Everyone, if you're listening, please weigh in. Tell us your thoughts on this situation because I'm really curious to see how other couples deal with this situation. It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing. All right, Gus, should we dive into the great state of Idaho? Yeah. So our 50 states of soccer adventure rolls on. And today we are traveling to the beautiful state of Idaho. Have you been to Idaho?
I have touched Idaho land.
What does that mean?
I think Yellowstone goes into it.
It might.
It circles.
It certainly does. It's certainly right there.
It's Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. But the Idaho part is like a little bit further west. So I've driven through, but I have not spent time.
Okay. It is a beautiful state. Time? I've been twice. So one of my very good friends, their family has a condo in Sun Valley, Idaho, which is a ski resort area. It's beautiful. They got married there. And so I've been there in the summer and the winter on like a ski trip, and it's stunning. I mean, it's absolutely idyllic. There's a town called Ketchum that's nearby. It's just like this like really adorable mountain town, great little shops and restaurants. I mean, I think it's kind of turning into what like a Whitefish, Montana is now. But it's still kind of like maybe a little bit under the radar. It's great. It's great. Mind you, I didn't see any soccer when I was there, but that's about to change. Strong. It's about to change. So Boise, starting next season in 2026, is going to get a USL League One team and a women's team as well in Boise. And it's really cool. I don't know. It's called, what were they called? Athletic Club
Boise.
Athletic Club Boise. And this is interesting. So the name Athletic Club, gosh, I'm not sure if because this was new to me. I did not know this. Apparently, there is a sizable Basque population.
Yep.
In Boise, so this is a nod to Athletic Club Bilbao, which is, famously a Basque team, and they basically sign all Basque players. My understanding is
the topography is similar to Basque, so therefore they are like goat herders or whatever traditionally. Because it's the mountainous region in northern Spain. And so the Boise area was very similar to how you have the Scandinavian and German populations in, Minnesota and Wisconsin and all of that, because it was a similar, geography or climate or whatever to what they were used to. That is my understanding of how it happened in Boise. And so there's, I believe, like the biggest Basque language department in a U.S. college is at Boise State.
Does Boise State have a decent collegiate?
I don't believe soccer? They have a team.
They don't have a team.
No.
Interesting. So it's, I don't think it's necessarily one of those states where you're like, oh yeah, this is a hotbed.
Sorry, they do have a women's team. They do not have a men's team.
Okay, interesting.
Can be corrected there.
But it's not one of those states that is front of mind when you think of soccer. But as we're kind of doing some digging here, there's some good. Idaho has produced some soups dece players.
Great players.
Great players.
So the five-a-side, I think, is going to be slightly easy this week, similar to Colorado, where it's like set in stone, undebatable names. And there are 4 of them. The 5th one will be a little bit harder because it's not as like deep of a pool. But Maria Sanchez is from Idaho, which is like kind of wild, and my understanding is her story is pretty unique of like didn't really play club soccer, played high school soccer, and there wasn't really like a lot of club options. Ended up going to Idaho State, which is a team that plays somewhere.
Where is Idaho State?
It is a great question. I do not know. And then transferred to Santa Clara.
Okay.
And then ended up going on to, if people don't know, play in Mexico, is a star of the Mexican national team. Pocatello, Idaho. Thank you, Douglas, for stepping in there. Ended up being signed the largest contract, I believe, in women's soccer history when she first signed with Houston to come back from Liga MX Femenal. And then ended up getting traded, which was the largest trade in NWSL history when she got traded from Houston to San Diego and has now recently just returned back to play in Mexico. So you're like, okay, wow, there's one. Then it turns out that Sofia Huerta, who is now, as of this weekend, congratulations, the all-time assist leader in NWSL history, best 11s, has played for Seattle Reign most of her career, was with Lyon on loan. That's a tough one to say. With Lyon on loan over the last few months and has 40 plus caps with the U.S. Women's National Team, is also from Idaho. And Emily Sams, who is the reigning defender of the year in NWSL, is also from Idaho. And many, I think, believe she is in line right now to be a starter for the U.S. Women's National Team over the next year or two and potentially at the World Cup. So that is like massive for a state that I don't know that many of us associate with soccer. And like,
no, that is some serious talent.
Yeah.
Serious talent. Very cool. See, this is what I love about this whole segment is that we are learning so much. We have to mention Joe Cannon.
Well, that's our fourth, I think.
Yes. So Joe Cannon is a 2-time MLS goalkeeper of the year. Had a pretty incredible career, but I believe he's from the Sun Valley area.
Yes.
Might be from Ketchum. I have to double check. But he's a friend. He's a great human. Outstanding goalkeeper, but yeah, good soccer pedigree.
So that's 4 that are like no-brainers.
No-brainers, but you're right. The 5th one, we're going to have to do some digging.
So the 5th one, there'll be some debate, and we'll come back to it on the show tomorrow on SoccerWise. We have a guest with us, Casey White, who will be joining us, so I will throw some names at her. And then I will be missing happy hour on Thursday, but you will be on, and you can put the bow on this.
I sure will. That'll be fun. I'm trying to get Joe Cannon to come on, so fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'm putting the pressure on now. I say if I say it out loud and like I'm not really like a manifester, but like.
But you're gonna manifest it.
Same concept. But I feel like he would be super helpful in that conversation. But that's gonna be fun.
We have our scouting reports that we always do.
Oh yeah.
Clearly, we are not experts on the state, but we appreciate all the feedback we've gotten. Especially shout out to. Doklatch on Blue Sky, Women's Sports Season, who has sent us some really good recs. So mentioned the Maria Sanchez story specifically and talked about for bars, a place in Boise called Liga, Liga, which looks like a very cool soccer bar and seems to be Spanish facing. And then another one, Double Tap Pub, which this is a cool thing, by the way, is like, I don't know that I would guess that there's a soccer bar in every city, every town, whatever, but there really is, which is a really cool part of the way the sport has changed in our country.
It is. And it's it's become, I feel like that's kind of where a lot of fandom sort of like generates and starts, like if you.
Yeah, it's much easier than like starting a professional soccer team or whatever and having thousands of fans in the crowd. Like, yeah, you need 25 people to come to a bar and watch a good game and have fun together.
Mm-hmm. It cultivates that. Yeah. So that's awesome. Cool. Thanks. And then what about Hallowed Ground? I think
so. It is called Les Boys Park. BOIS is the middle word. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. I assume it's a play off Boise, but maybe it's French and I'm out of it.
If it's French, it'd be Bois.
Okay. So you say that.
Les Bois.
So Les Bois Park, which is a horse racing track that closed in 2016 and is being converted into the home stadium for Athletic Club Boise.
Oh, cool.
So that is the main one.
That's rad.
It was the football stadium, which of course is famous for its blue turf, where Athletic Bilbao played Club Tijuana in the big friendly that happened in 2015, which had an attendance of over 20,000 fans. So that's like the big soccer moment that has happened in the state so far. But I think the feeling is, one, converted racetrack. And from the TripAdvisor photos, which is what I found easiest, there's mountains in the background. And then the stand looks out on the field with the mountains in the background. That's the dream. I think it's going to be very, very cool. And this USL team is really interesting because one of the founders of the team is Bill Taylor, who was a VP of U.S. Soccer.
Ooh, interesting.
I want to say that's the title. But he was the number 2 under Cindy Parlow-Cone.
Okay.
Like the elected positions that they have. So obviously heavily involved in the game and all of that. And so it's cool now being from Idaho. I've had the opportunity to chat with him once or twice of like, oh, now this thing's happening here, which is really, really cool for him. So I think Casey Keller's involved with the group as well, being a Washington native and not too far away. So I am excited for this week because these are kind of the ones we wanted to learn about.
I know. These are great. These are like little hidden gems. Another great little factoid about Idaho. One of my favorite movies of all time was filmed there.
What?
Napoleon Dynamite.
That's where it's filmed?
Yes.
They don't ever say it though, right? Like
no.
It's in an ambiguous place.
But it like technically it takes place in Idaho.
Interesting.
Yep.
That is very, very cool.
It is another reason why Idaho rules. No, I'm super excited because next year, One Knox is going to get to play Idaho, and that is 100% on my travel list. I just, I circle all the away matches I'm like, yep.
These are the must-hits.
We're going to that one. But that's going to be very high on the list, so I can't wait. But it was great. Guys, keep weighing in so we can, on Thursday at the happy hour, we can kind of put a pin in this one, but we want to get all of your Idaho intel. Please. We need help because we are not the experts.
I would also like to state that we talked about this for a very long time, and I didn't make the cliche Idaho joke. Well, I did it in writing, but I didn't say it in person, and I'm very proud of myself.
Wait, I feel dumb. I don't even know what it is.
Well,
what is it?
People say Idaho, and then you say Idaho, Idaho. Clearly, it wasn't as known as I realized. I didn't have to do that.
I know. That's really good, though. It's really good. Well done. If you had said it, I would have laughed. I
did it to Keon in writing, and Keon is from South Africa and has never been anywhere near this place and was like, what are you talking
He's like, this makes no sense.
Please leave me alone. And I was like, that's a fair response.
Wow. Okay. All right. So we might not be experts on the state of Idaho, but I like to think that at least I am an expert on touchline fashion. Goss. So, which leads us to a very special segment of Touchline Tailor. Okay, so you guys might have seen my reaction video because over the weekend, FC Köln head coach Lukas Kwasniok basically made one of the strangest and boldest fashion statements I've ever seen on a touchline. Mind you, this was his very first match in charge of FC Köln. Okay, so this is like, hello world. Here I am your coach. He opted to wear the team's kit. Not a training outfit, the actual jersey with jeans and running shoes. This was his sideline look. And yep, okay, there it is. There it is. Thank you, producer Douglas. So When I was first alerted to this, I thought it was a joke. I was like, no way. Like he did it for like the walk-in or something.
Yeah, right.
And then I was like, oh no, like he's actually wearing this as he is coaching this game against Mainz. Goss. So I put out a little reaction video on social where I basically just said, nothing about this is good or
canceled.
Acceptable. I'm curious to get your thoughts on
So
this.
I did a little bit of research for this because I do think there are ways in which this could be okay. The first one being childhood fan, you wear your old jersey or like wear the person that was your hero. I think that would have been a cool connection. Not the case here.
No.
Then I'm thinking former player maybe. You wear someone, maybe your former manager's name, maybe you're wearing a teammate, whatever. Not the case there either. Basically has no connection to the club until he got hired for this job and then wore this and then wore it in the game. I think it's a tough move. I think it's a tough look. Your family, fine, right? Like your kids, your partner, your parents, your siblings. Great. That's like, yeah, they should be full-on fans about it like that. But it is a tough look. I don't need the suit. Like, I don't mind being dressed down a little. But wearing the jersey of the team, and you can't wear the one they're wearing because you can't stand on the sideline then. Like, so the whole thing's a little bit rough.
It's very confusing and convoluted. It's like I'm not quite sure what he was looking to do because so his whole rationale behind this was that he had gone to like a kit presentation with the club and a bunch of sponsors and said he was so inspired by it, like he had goosebumps. And so if he could and was allowed to wear, and I think this is the third kit of the team of Köln, that he was going to do it. And he said this is what killed me. He said, I wanted to wear the jersey with pride. And I was like, yeah, but
you do that by helping the team win.
Yeah,
and then
like that's
you
not
can wear it in training.
You don't wear the jersey.
Yeah.
Like that isn't That isn't what you're here to do, my guy. Like, you are here to lead the team that's wearing the jerseys.
When something like this happens, are you worried most that it potentially opens up a door inside of your house of like, oh, this is what other people are doing, that's cool, so maybe I can do it too?
A little bit, but thankfully Ian was appalled at this. Yeah, he called him a full kit wanker, which I thought was great.
That's pretty fitting.
It was great. No, I think he actually, his exact words, he was like, he looks like a men's league player that is taking this way too seriously. Like, he like wears his kit everywhere. Like, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of exactly it. Also, he made a very good point. He was like, what is this guy going to do when he goes to another club? Like, he has now set a precedent. Like, he's
got to wear the kit.
Because he's like, this is going to haunt him.
I will say.
For the rest of his life.
I think that's a really fair thought process. And I think one of the sad things and worrying things about being in the managerial world is you are always thinking about that because the odds of being in one place are so low.
So low.
Yeah. So, it's a tough one. I don't see a lot of wins in this.
There isn't. There just isn't. It's. I think he was kind of pandering to the fans, trying to be like, look, I'm one of you, but like, and he's trying too hard. It reeks of desperation.
Did they win?
They did win.
All right, great. Everyone loves them now.
I know. So they did win.
I didn't even look that part up.
I know.
They won 1-0.
It was 1-0.
90th minute winner from Marius Butler. Well, everyone's gonna make him wear the jersey now. Now it's good luck.
I know. So now I'm like, no, this is just gonna continue.
Yeah.
It's not good. But also, like, my thoughts on jeans.
Yes.
Coaches wearing jeans.
No, this very little about this is going to get an A in your book.
No, none of it is. I hope he's listening, and that, smarter heads prevail in this one moving forward. Lukas Kwasniok, congrats on your first win in charge, but we need to do something about the touchline fits. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Okay, Gus, let's change the tone, shall we?
Okay. I think we're keeping a similar tone. But
it is kind of, but like this is more like in your field. So we're gonna hit on some feel good soccer stories that we have been enjoying from the global game. So this can be from anywhere, and I'm gonna let you go first. What story have you been enjoying?
So I will say, one, I'm not going to hit on, but I've been doing a large amount of research about World Cup teams because some have already qualified, but very few have. And the ones who have, there are many first-time nations. So I'm very excited about that. That is probably going to be a large portion of what I do in this segment going forward. And being a promo person, we have our World Cup newsletter that is going to be launching tomorrow.
Ooh.
So everyone should go through all the Kickback committee channels, Kickback, SoccerWise, everywhere. You can find the sign up for that. It is free. And we're going to be doing that every single week all the way through the World Cup, and then even more often as we get there. And there's already some really cool stuff in there. To me, the World Cup is the best thing that's ever happened in sports. So there's a lot connected to that. But I did go club with this one.
Okay.
And it is one that I'm keeping my eye on currently. Some people will have heard this. Some people wouldn't. But there is a team located in Spain called Real Oviedo, which I think has come across people's radars probably off and on, but has now returned to La Liga for the first time in 24 years. They are located on the north side of Spain in a city called Oviedo, located right next to Gijón, which was just an excuse for me to try and say that and do that. Real Oviedo, full-time La Liga team consistently. They were relegated in 2001. And the like sort of full circle moment was they lost their final home game to Real Madrid. They then lost the next game. That dropped them down. If they had won either, they would have stayed up. They tied Real Madrid, I believe, 1-1. And their current coach, Veljko Paunovic, speaking of Chicago.
No way.
Was on the field in that game. And I believe he said he hit the post twice in that game. And it has haunted him since. After the team dropped down, it turns out that they owed 42 million euros to multiple parties, including banks, local taxes, and whatnot. So they were relegated again. And then it was filed by the players that they weren't paying salaries. So they were relegated again and given a 6-point deduction in something called the Tercera League, which has 350 teams that are regionalized across Spain. Like, we're talking, you are now in the men's league situation. And then from there, it has been a long road back. As I said, 24 years. So there are like all of these wild stories that have occurred to them since. So obviously they fall under, they don't have any money. So the local mayor felt it was critical to have a big team in Oviedo for the good of the city. And I believe was mad at the team. So took a different local team, had them rename themselves to Oviedo ACF, took the colors of Real Oviedo. The original team name was called Astor, which is, I believe, the name of the region. They got public funding. They got access to a bigger stadium and all of that. And this kind of like lit the fire for Real Oviedo fans to be like, no, we're not going down and having a new team try and replace us and be a fake version of us. And so the feeling was that the fans have basically built the club back up. Like, fans came, painted the stadium, cut the grass. They created handmade membership cards, and they averaged 10,000 fans a game every single year from being in that 4th division all the way back up and through. 2006, they had a hero take over, right? Like one of these owners who's going to save the team. He was corrupt. He went missing, like he ran away at some point, and the belief was the team was going to be disbanded. And then that's where I think some soccer people have seen the name come across because after having like an interim board and managing things and saving things, they became a publicly owned team, and they put out shares that you could buy. They had 21,000 fans march to the game the day they announced that. Real Madrid C was actually their opponent. And I believe some of the players on Real Madrid C bought shares in the team. And they ended up having like a global appeal. So over 36,000 people in 86 countries bought shares of the team, including, as it grew, some very high net worth individuals, including Carlos Slim, who I believe was the richest man in the world or is the richest man in the world, the Mexican billionaire, which got them over the threshold to be saved. And then in 2002, I think he moved his shares on to one of the Liga MX groups he owns. So it has all like been this kind of like, didn't think it was possible fan story. And the kicker on all of it is that their former academy player has come back around to help star on the team. And that is Santi Corsola, who is, I think most people would say, the most endearing person in soccer on the planet. He debuted for the club finally at 38 years old because right when they went under was when he was ready to sort of be a young player, but they didn't have a first team to push him into. So he immediately got sold and has moved around in his career. He has had terrible injury issues his whole career, never really made it to the peak most people expected. So he led them back. They gained promotion last season. They had an away game first week, and then this was their first home game. And to come full circle, it was against Real Madrid. They also lost. They lost 3-0, so that part of the story is like less. But I'm going to be watching them all season. Corsola came off the bench because he's 40, so there's not as much that he can do, but he is still magic when he touches the ball. And there are a lot of big name players. Dion Docker is in this team. Like there's now bigger name players because they've, brought pieces in as they've moved into La Liga. But it's just a really cool story, and I think it's what a lot of us hope soccer is capable of still. And I think there was a really like bookend moment this weekend to be able to come back against that same team. And I think the poster they put out last week was like, it was a drawing of two old friends having seen each other being like, it's been a while. Where have you been? And Real Madrid's holding a European Cup. And the picture for Real Oviedo is what they call the 4th division for the team in Spanish is the mud. And there's like pictures of them in the mud. So it's been a long time and they're back.
That's an incredible story. I love that.
Storybook stuff.
I love that. I love that. Wow. It is like a movie. And also not dissimilar to my favorite feel-good story in the soccer world right now. Also in Europe, but I'm looking at Sweden.
Ooh,
the Allsvenskan. Okay, so right now there is a team sitting on top of the table called Mjällby. I think I'm pronouncing it right. It's Mjallby. Mjällby. Okay. They are 8 points clear of Hammarby, which is a very successful club in Sweden. Mm-hmm. Also, former club of our good friend Charlie Davies. Fun fact. Thank you very much. So they are 15-5-1 on the season. They haven't lost since May 11th. Okay. But to give some context, Mjällby, where this club plays, it's on like the very south coast of England. It's like a big prominent fishing village. There are maybe around 1,000 people total in this town. Like, it is teeny tiny. Okay. And this is a club, they were started, I think, in like 1939, and they've only spent 9 total seasons in the top tier of Swedish football, but so they've kind of like just like floundered. They've somehow avoided bankruptcy like several times. And just a lot of these guys, like these players, even like through the like 2015 season, like they all had different jobs. They were all like had other jobs. Like this was playing football was not their full-time job. But here they are basically like almost running away with the league right now. Like I said, 8 points clear of Hammarby. It's a club that they've basically like, they're kind of run by the fans. They don't have like a big rich owner that has come in to swoop this up. This is all kind of like publicly funded. And it's just such a cool story, because if you look at pictures, also like Google this town and where they play, it's beautiful. It's one of those little fields. It's like right on the coast, like the ocean's right there. I mean, it just looks, it's idyllic. It's so cool. And one of those like, oh, that's like a bucket list place where I would love to go watch a match. But it's just pretty incredible that a team that's set in a town that has literally hardly any people have had such an incredible season. And I think it's one of those situations where it was like, oh, this is a fluke. Like at some point they're gonna stumble. They're gonna start losing, and they just have not. They have not, and it's really cool. So that's and again, to your point, like I've been following them for the last like couple months, like just like seeing how I'm like, oh, they're still doing it. So it's pretty fun. So guys, get Mjällby in Sweden on your radar, because it is one of the very fun feel-good stories in soccer to follow. I'm looking at
photos right now, and I'm enamored.
It's right.
It's got this little bridge, little cobblestone houses. Yeah.
So charming. So charming. And for that reason, it is part of my bad soccer bets that, Gus, you and I are going to make. Looking ahead to the weekend. So this is going to be hopefully a recurring segment. So I just want to preface this by letting everybody know that all soccer bets are bad. Okay? Like, you may think you are the smartest person in the room. You watch all sorts of soccer. You're informed on all the leagues. You know the stats, the players. Doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, because betting on soccer is just, I mean... It's just a thankless task, and I know from experience. So that's why we're calling this segment Bad Soccer Bets, because even though you might have the best intentions and the best logic, it will come and haunt you and bite you hard. So we are going to basically put together a group parlay. So I've got a couple bets, Gus has got a couple bets, and then we're gonna source some from the public.
Yes.
So we want you guys to hit us up on Blue Sky and give us your bad soccer bet of the weekend. And then we're all going to like lump these into one big parlay. And if we hit, which we probably won't, but if we do hit and we're able to make a little money, it's all going to go to a charity, TBD. Yeah. We'll find a good one though, won't we, Gus?
Yeah. I think that would be the most exciting part if somehow...
Wouldn't it? I know.
This happened. I just like having the idea of something that we can all cheer for together.
Well, exactly.
Because as we've learned from your previous stories, if we're not with you, we're against you.
We're against you.
We'd rather be with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so I just talked about Mjällby. So they are part of my bad soccer bet. And I'm hoping it's not a bad soccer bet. But they are playing Halmstad at the weekend. And Halmstad, they're not a very good team. They ship a ton of goals. They're sitting towards the bottom of the table right now. Mjällby are at home. So I have them to win outright against Halmstad and over 2.5 goals in that match.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because Halmstad's a little leaky. So that is at the negative 115 odds. Okay. But then you pair that with this, and this is where it gets a little interesting. This is where it all goes to hell. MLS. MLS is just a very difficult league to make bets on because it's the league of chaos and anything can happen. But I'm trying to use my best logic right now. So Charlotte is playing New England at New England. Charlotte are on fire right now. Okay. They're like unbeaten in their last 9 MLS matches. New England have struggled. So I have Charlotte to win in that one. And so if you combine these two together, it's plus 404 are the odds. So if I put down $10, I would basically win like about $40.
Yeah.
So those are my bad soccer bets of the weekend. David.
Those are probably two things that have never been connected in any sphere.
But this is why it's fun.
Yeah. And we're going to parlay all our stuff together, right? Yeah. So I don't know the actual, we would have to do this somewhere. I don't know what the actual, I wonder if you can find a place. I found places with lines, but I didn't find one that like you could actually build it on.
I think betting is quite rampant in Tennessee. So
yeah,
I'll find the best site and put these all together.
Okay. So for mine, I'm going to stick in Sweden to start. So a team named IK Sirius, spelt like Sirius Black, football, is currently sitting in 12th place in the league, but they are in a 4-match unbeaten run, 3 games, wins, including this weekend beating our hated rival Hammarby for now. Again, shout out CD9 and whatever, to help Mjällby continue their run for a championship. And now IK Sirius faces off against AIK Gothenburg, who are one of the bigger teams in the league, who are currently in 4th. And they are on the road. I am not bold enough to say they will win, but for a draw, the number is plus 320, which
that's pretty good.
Number. Yeah.
Oh my God. And when you combine that with the other ones,
exactly,
we could make some coin.
And I like the fact that IK Sirius is led up top by Leo Walta, who is one of the 3 leading scorers in the league and is from Finland, Vanta, Finland, which just tickles me anyway. And he's only 22 years old and seems like he's going to be like a young star of a player. And I like Finland. I went one time for 2 days and had a good time. So I'm all in. Is
cool.
What I'm saying. Yeah, I'm fully committed to the cause.
I love this. See, this is why it's fun and interesting.
Yeah.
And that's why we want our listeners to participate as well. So find us some fun kind of out there bets.
And we have one more ad, which is our producer Douglas is throwing in that he has Cameron Carter-Vickers, starting center back for Celtic in Scotland, for taking over 0.5 shots. Oh, no, taking under 0.5 shots. So no shots in the next game. I don't have the line on that one, so I don't know how much that one will add, but that will be our parlay coming out of this. We will take a fan inclusion, and then we can all cheer together.
Oh, my gosh. I love this. This is going to be fun. What do you think? Should we select the fan submission at the happy hour? Do you give me?
Yes. Full trust.
Full trust?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll source it. Okay, so we're gonna have to put something out on Blue Sky to prompt people to give us their bad soccer bet of the weekend. This is gonna be great. I'm excited about it. All right, Gus, we're moving on from bad bets to some breaking news that doesn't involve Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce being engaged. But it does. But I just had to throw that in there because it just happened, and I'm very excited for them.
Are you impressed that Thomas Müller didn't accidentally break the news that Travis was proposing to Taylor?
Honestly, I think this should just become a thing. Like, whenever there is news to be broken, just hire Thomas Müller to come and, like, very, like, charmingly and innocently, accidentally deliver said breaking news. Like, it would be brilliant.
Like, if you were having a kid as a way to tell your partner for the first time or someone, you could have Thomas Müller show up and be like, oh, well, let me sign your kid's jersey. And they'd be like, oh, I don't have a kid.
100%.
They'll be like, you do now.
Well, you do
and then
now.
He'll go, and slurp it back up. Yeah.
And honestly, well, this is perfect because the U.S. soccer should have hired Thomas Müller to basically announce their roster for a pair of upcoming friendlies in September, don't you think? Because it's out. Yeah. And he broke one of the players, Tristan Blackman, the other day. So they should have just leaned in and had him do the whole thing, which would have been brill. Totally brill.
Yeah.
But the breaking news is that the roster is out for the September friendlies. Goss, should we take a look? Should we look at these names?
I think we should. And
it's chaotic.
So
we
are going to avoid as much social media as we can to not fall into a lagoon.
How do we do that?
Despair.
Tell me how we do that.
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess you could say this is fun.
It is fun. I will say, Pochettino has found a way to keep us on our toes and give us endless topics to discuss when it comes to his roster selection. This one is okay. Just initial reaction. Like, were you surprised when you saw this mix of names?
I think I'm less surprised than most people.
Okay.
I have said a couple times since the Gold Cup that I think people are underestimating how much of an experience he had with the group at the Gold Cup.
Okay.
And I think like he very much values the time he spent with them and what they did. If you watch the video, of course, crying after the final and emotional, like, I'm just guessing. I've never met him, so this is all just from the outside.
You're not besties?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know that he was like, I don't know that he knew what he was getting into. And then I don't know how like connected he was to the group because he had very little time with them. So I think in like Mauricio Pochettino's life, the Gold Cup is the like seminal moment of him like connecting with the group. And this is one of the issues with a lot of these players not being there. And like, that's what he's going to lean on. So for all the people who are like, this is a crazy roster and this is so shocking, there are some weird names from that group that were left out. And of the ones that were brought in, it's a little interesting. But looking at the list, 4 of the 6 midfielders were at the Gold Cup.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't shock me, right?
Okay.
We knew Matt Freese had earned his spot. Maybe it's a little surprising that Matt Turner lost a spot on the roster in totality. And maybe you could say some of the defenders question marks, but again, the starting back 4 for the Gold Cup final, they're all there. So that none of that part really surprises me.
Okay.
I think there was still an assumption that a bunch of the big European-based names would just come in because that's just the way it works. I think that has been a large reaction for a lot of people is that didn't happen.
Yeah, I think for me, my initial reaction when I saw this was that, like, I don't have a clear idea at all as to the direction Pochettino is going to go when it comes to 2026 and the World Cup. And I think that, you know, it's fair. He, like you said, he's still clearly kind of figuring his players out, this player pool out, and maybe looking to find a right combination. Maybe he puts more emphasis on vibes. I don't know, but this is I was surprised. Certainly the goalkeeper pool surprised me. That was an interesting one. Jonathan Klinsmann is not a name that's been sort of in this mix for a while. But then, you know, no Weston McKennie, no Yunus Musa. You know, these are guys that were sort of, you know, just guarantees in the Berhalter era. And and he has said, Pochettino has said that, you know, anybody that's not on this roster has a chance to play their way in. This is not by any means set in stone. But what does that tell you about where guys like Musa and McKennie are at in his estimation?
this, and like you said, what's hard about this is like it seems very case by case.
Yeah.
And so it seems hard to understand like how people fall out, but also how they get back in. Like you look at some of the names on this, and it's like names that were Alex Dejas doesn't get called to the Gold Cup, which I didn't really understand at the time. Outside of the fact that Club America was playing that weird, all of a sudden qualifier, and then maybe he wasn't going to be available, you can still put him on a list, like that's your choice, and then replace him if you have to. But like I don't know that he has earned his way back in from anything he's done with Club America since. And then at the same time, Weston McKennie not coming to the Gold Cup because he's playing in the Club World Cup, which you understand, and like he hasn't had a ton of games since because the season hasn't started yet. Only played 1 minute in the first game of the season. But it felt like he wasn't in the team because of the Club World Cup thing. So how does he lose his spot? And how would he get it back? That's, I think, all the questions that you feel from some of this. But like clearly Josh Sargent earned his way back in from the way
I'm happy for Josh Sargent. Yeah, I'm really happy for Josh Sargent. 4 goals in 4 games for Norwich this season in the championship. He's arguably our most in-form striker right now in this player pool. And so, having spoken to Doyle about it last week, it felt like he was on the outs. So this is encouraging for Josh Sargent, and I'm glad that guys like him are going to be able to have a chance to impress. And I know he hasn't scored a goal for the U.S. in a very long time, but maybe this could be the turning point. He is very in form right now. Who else are you happy for in this mix of players? Who are you excited to see get a chance?
I was surprised that Roman Celentano didn't get a chance at the beginning of the summer.
Okay.
I think he's been good enough in MLS to at least deserve a shout alongside a Patrick Schulte and a Matt Freese. I don't know that I think he's better than them, but like if you're saying here's a resume of a player that gets called in, I feel like he has a very similar resume. So I think that's a big one. That's exciting to see. Anytime Tyler's on the team, I'm happy. So that's a great one to see. And I feel like all the other players in that midfield pool that played in the Gold Cup deserve the opportunity to come back in. And I'm a very big fan of Tim Weah, even if the Copa America went very poorly because of the actions he took in a random moment, which I still don't fully understand. I have always felt like there's such a high floor to his game when he plays with the U.S. He always performs at least at this level. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he elevates and is the best player on the field. Sometimes he's the second best player on the field. Other times maybe not, but he's always going to work hard off the ball. He's always going to make the runs you need him to make. He's always going to be an option. And I think you saw it in 2022. I think you saw it in qualifying for 2022 against Jamaica, against Costa Rica. And so unfortunate for him that club hasn't gone perfectly and he's still trying to find his feet. But he's one of the guys that I would like to be in this team because I can't imagine a world where we are at our best as a national team without Timothy Weah being a part of it.
I would agree with that. Where are you at with Serginho Dest, who is back in the fold after a long absence due to injury?
I can understand any coach being a part of this group thinking that they have to at least see that talent in person one time. He is like a freak at what he is capable of doing on the soccer field. He's playing full 90s now, so in theory he's fit. And I can understand wanting to bring him in one time and seeing him at a minimum and having him be a part of it. I think there's really cool things you could do with him. Like, I think he should come inside more and they should play through him a little bit more. And you could keep Weah out wide. It's something as well that Arfstin is capable of doing a couple different things. The question would be who's defending if 2 guys like that are on the field, which I don't have the answer to.
It's a great question, though.
It's a good one for defenders.
It's a very fair question. Very fair. We got an interesting comment. I believe this was on Blue Sky from Alexander Abnos Goss, and he says the MLS. This is from Mauricio Pochettino. He said the MLS, in my assessment, is maybe more competitive than some leagues in Europe. So this is according to Pochettino, basically saying that MLS is as competitive. What do you make of that quote? Like, what is the inference there from Pochettino? Is he saying that MLS is as good a quality, or that it's just simply as competitive? And is that going to sway his final choice when he does assemble the roster for the World Cup?
So I think for starters, it is single-handedly the most important the MLS that's ever been dropped.
The MLS.
To call it the MLS and then follow it up by saying that in a press conference in which you've gone, so 12 of the 22 players on this roster play in the MLS right now. And this was a fully open FIFA window in which Pochettino had the ability to call up players from anywhere. And so he made a statement with the roster. Then he alienates MLS hardcores with the phrasing while also giving them exact catnip at the same time.
It's so funny. It's never bothered me. The MLS has never bothered me.
It depends on who's saying it and in what scenario.
Okay.
If someone decides they're going to come on a show and host and be experts on it and not know how to say it, that will bother me. I'm not talking about anyone specific on this right now. I'm just talking in general. But I don't blame players when they say it. I don't blame coach. Like, if it's not what they do and they don't care and they're not thinking about it, it's fine. If you're like a newspaper writing an article about a potential transfer and you do it incorrectly, come on. Come on. What are we doing over there?
Do better.
So I will agree that Mauricio Pochettino doing it in a second language doesn't bother me at all, but it's funny that he said it. I think the point of what he's saying is that there aren't really giants in MLS, and so game in and game out, I think the competition level is very high. I also think what he's feeling is the players who have come out of that league into his camps have been competitive with players who are coming into his camps from other leagues. So the way he's looking at it is saying, if Alex Freeman and Max Arfston on the same field in my training sessions are competitive with Serginho Dest and Joe Scally or whoever else is in there, and Jedi, I think, not a part of this coming back from injury, so that's probably an outlier of a position. But, you know, whatever you want to say, if you want to say Tristan Blackman comes in and is playing on the same field as Noah Kai Banks and Chris Richards, and I think he's saying that he is seeing equal opportunity of players to grow in those settings, and therefore it's not going to heavily factor in who he's choosing. I think he's going to choose personalities, styles, and form based off what those players are and not where they play.
Wow. I mean, if anything, he has given us plenty to discuss and banter about ahead of those upcoming friendlies, September 6th and September 9th against South Korea and Japan. I'm sure we will be talking ad nauseum about all of this, the roster, the matches, on all of our kickback channels. And on that note, that's it for us today. But guys, make sure you check out the latest episode of Soccer Wise. Like and subscribe to all of our kickback media channels, committee, Soccer Wise. Sign up for our newsletter. We've got the World Cup edition. Gus mentioned it earlier. The World Cup edition newsletter dropping tomorrow, which is Wednesday. So make sure you subscribe to that. On Thursday, you can join me and Claudia Pagan for a happy hour at 5:30 p.m. That will be live on our YouTube channel. And yeah, that's all she wrote. But Gus, great to see you, my friend. Enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.
I'll try to hold it down without you. It won't be the same. It won't be the same. But we'll try to have some fun. And guys, have a fantastic rest of your week. We will see you very soon.